Hello, everyone, hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 91 of the Need to Ned podcast. I'm your host, Heezy. I'm joined by a man who did not make day two at DreamHack, PaddyB. What happened?
Hey everyone. I think we both did not make day two at DreamHack. We're joined by each other that way. Yeah.
I won
Did
DreamHack.
not.
Did you not see that I
You
won
won DreamHack?
I did.
I missed it.
You were there for my win when I got a mac and cheeseburger.
That's fair. That that looked so good. I even had a little bit.
Yeah.
Or was it your fries? I think it was your fries.
You accidentally take my fries, but you did have a bite of the burger. We're probably going to talk about DreamHack in a minute. Before we do, we had something big happen for the Nerd Fact of the Week this week. Mario has become the highest grossing cartoon film ever, beating out Frozen 2. And today I was on the TikToks, as one does, and there was the TikTok of the Grim Adventures of Billy Mandy, where he's like, "Am I the only one that understands the cinematic masterpiece? This movie's not stupid. You're stupid." That meme that I love so much, and it shows like the critic score versus the audience score. I haven't seen the Mario movie yet. I'm gonna take my son to it probably this week. But no one that I have talked to is like, it's bad. So the critics obviously have literally no idea what they're talking about.
It's true. I was skeptical going into it. Shelby and I actually caught a showing last night after my karaoke show, and yeah, it was really funny, and I was not as thrown off by Chris Pratt's voice as I thought I would be going into it. So that's good, and it was hilarious. So all around great, awesome references, and of course Peaches.
Well, Patty, I'm pretty sure it's either this one of these coming days is our first game night. If you want to join those, you go to the Discord. We could play some it'd be really fun to play in the Discord is if people have, I guess you can't do this right now because you don't have a Switch. I was going to suggest that we play Mario Party on the 64 version, because apparently you can play that online, but we'll find something to be doing.
I can come over and do it. We can do it live at your, I can.
Yeah, we can do something.
Be local with you.
We can do something like that, but we'll get that date in the Discord. That there is a Magic tournament in the Discord coming up. Check out constructivecriticism.com for more information on that. With that being said, let's go into our main topic. It is our Need to Nerd April. It's our standard show where we talk about the things that we're nerding out about right now. And I figured we kind of start with DreamHack and kind of how our DreamHack trend went. You and I got to go to DreamHack together. Got to see King of the Hill. People popping off on King of the Hill. Got to go to the convention center. It was a beautiful convention center. PaddyB, why don't you talk about it first?
Yeah, so DreamHack was really cool. I've never been to a specific gaming convention, right? That was very new for me. I've been to Salt Lake Comic Con before, a bunch, and so that's kind of been like my convention experience for nerddom. The atmosphere was really cool. It was super busy. DreamHack was just I think that's one of my favorite venues I've ever been at is the San Diego Convention Center. I'm gonna look for more conventions to go in San Diego because that was just such a blast. And
dude, it's easily my favorite. It's like it has its own tier on the convention center tier list now. It is S tier. Everything else is below.
For sure. Yeah. No. The temperature, right? Just the atmosphere with it being right on the beach. Well, not the beach, but right next to the ocean.
Whatever, dude. We totally walked out of there, met your wife outside, and we're on the ocean in under 10 minutes. Yes.
Yep. That was so cool.
It was awesome. It was I had a blast. I said this kind of going into some of my Magic peeps. So I didn't expect to do well at the tournament just with how much prep I got to put in and kind of where my head's been at in Magic lately, but I knew that I was going to have a blast, and it was probably my favorite weekend for both the gathering for Magic and just like, getting to go sit downstairs and watch Smash whenever I had the time, and meeting a ton of listeners of constructive criticism. I even had somebody come up and say that they liked this show as well. So like, I don't know, it was just a good feeling all around.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did not get that, but that makes sense. I one thing I wish with the Magic side that there had been. I feel like there was not as many artists or like Magic specific like vending up top. Um, which I mean, this is the second one in America, right? Like it was Atlanta and this one, so still kind of growing that. I'd like to see more there. But like the free play arcade stuff was really fun. I got to I I scrubbed out at 2-4, so I had a bit of time um to after I was out of it to go check out the hall, and I got to watch a bit of the pyramid, right, where there was like different games being played and challenged. Um,
Apparently
and
there
the
was
whole Snapdragon Arena.
there's a banjo player that held it for quite a while for Smash Bros for King of the Hill, and then apparently there was a Tetris player that held it for like well over like 3 hours playing Tetris.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, when we were there, that Tetris player that we watched, that was King of the Hill when we left, was still King of the Hill at the end of the day.
Oh wow.
So
so yeah, I guess that's kind of cool that there's like different games on the hill, right? That you can challenge and such. That was cool. And then some of the like arena stuff was really cool. Like not like Magic Arena, but I think it was like the Winter Classic. I caught like the tail end of one of those competitions. I think it was Clash of Clans that there was like a finale for that Snapdragon was hosting. And they were doing, I didn't get one, but they had this like free esports jersey that was customized that you could like sign up for and have printed and ready to go for you there at the arena, which was like pretty cool too. So yeah, DreamHack itself was really awesome. San Diego's great. I think we had some of the best food like ever. That was so tasty. The Louisiana Charlie's. Shout out to where did we get those tacos? I forget the name of that place where we went to dinner with Abe, and
the tacos were like an old family San Diego restaurant. Here it is. It's Serrano's Street Tacos.
Yeah, and you like didn't end up getting some of the salsa, but like you wanted to take some of that. Well, it's because
your wife just disappeared on us.
I think she went to move the car because we ran out of time with the parking.
I felt bad,
but that's okay. We were having fun. We were talking to the CC listeners. It was, I thought it was kind of funny that like he had mentioned that those like group dinners like never really happened like when you planned them, but when we weren't planning on having like a listener dinner thing, it ended up just being that.
Yeah. Well, it was a good time. Other than, Mike trying to ruin my night.
I know, that was great.
Yeah, so like other than DreamHack, I'm kind of nerding out right now. Like I guess we'll kind of let's just get into like the next things we're gonna nerd out about, because oh my gosh, PaddyB. One, I don't think I've watched Mando yet this week. I'm like
good.
I hear I'm sure it is. I already have a huge spoiler. So I'm excited to see Robot Grogu. The other thing is that I'm trying to pull up dates, but I believe Fallen or Jedi Survivor comes out. Survivor comes out in 8 days from the time of recording. Oh my gosh. I actually pulled out the copy of Fallen Order for you to play too, so I have it out
Okay,
ready for
maybe
you.
I'll come by today and I'll give you your contact stuff and then pick that stuff up.
And then I think the month after we've got Tears of the Kingdom on, I think is it the 16th? The 12th, May 12th. So just like two sequels to my two favorite games in like the last 5 years. They're just coming out bang bang, and like I I don't know how I'm gonna plan both. Like I actually don't. Like I think Survivor's gonna come out, and I'm just gonna shut myself in this room, and nobody's allowed to talk to me. And I am so excited, PaddyB. I cannot believe it. I've been waiting for so long. Ugh.
I'm so happy seeing your level of excitement. That's awesome.
I love these two original games. Like Jedi Fallen Order is like the best Star Wars game since KOTOR. And for it to get a sequel, and for it to get the reception that it got from the Star Wars fandom, which is like a really hard fandom to get all excited about something. But like everyone fell in love with Cal Kestis, and everyone fell in love with this game, and the droid, like BB-8, or not BB, BD. Everybody fell in love with BD, and like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then like Tears of the Kingdom looks so good. I have a video that I was waiting to edit till I got back from DreamHack. It's actually Maxwell reacting to the gameplay trailer for Tears of the Kingdom. That'll go up here on our YouTube channel. He's so cute. He's like so excited to play it. Breath of the Wild is like his favorite game ever made, and so it's gonna be so fun. What about you? What are you like ready to nerd out about next?
So while we were at DreamHack, we finished My Hero Season 1, right? So that was pretty cool. I'm excited to dive into Season 2. As far as my video game backlog, I'm going to tackle Ruby a little bit. I have some free time, so we'll be tackling that. I just saw Mario last night, so I've checked that off the list. As far as movies, I think there's a couple more I want to see. We need to get you to figure out a time when we can watch your kids, and so you can go see like D&D and eventually Star Wars. But
Is there a Star
yeah,
Wars
that's kind of what I'm.
Is there a Star Wars movie?
Yeah, they're re-releasing Return of the Jedi.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's you know what? We should talk about that in like this segment too, because I was literally in tears when I called my wife. I was like, "Hey, they're re-releasing Return of the Jedi in theaters," and Return of the Jedi is like, for my entire childhood, was probably my all-time favorite movie. Like there are 3 movies that sit in like my childhood favorite movies. Funnily enough, I think they're all PG-13. I had a weird childhood. They are Silverado, which this podcast has done a review of. Amazing movie, you should check it out. First Night, which this podcast has not done a review of. We should totally do it. You would love that. I think I talked to you about this movie on the way to DreamHack, actually. It's a King Arthur film where Sean Connery plays King Arthur, PaddyB.
Oh wow,
it's really good. And then Return of the Jedi being the other one, and I might cry now. Like just thinking about getting the opportunity to sit with my wife and watch that movie in theaters is not something that I ever thought I would get a chance to do. And so, I want that movie poster. I don't know if you saw it, PaddyB, the new movie poster that they released for this release of it, but it is so good. Yeah. I want that on my wall. So. Oh man.
We'll see if we can arrange that for you.
Ugh. We got back to Utah and I'm like, my allergies are like, haha, sucker.
Welcome to hell.
Yeah, it's intense. Hey, I gotta ask, you mentioned season 1 of My Hero. It is easily the most tame season of My Hero. Really good for like a starter anime. And I got to ask, what did you think?
It was really good. I definitely understand. I can definitely see like why Deku is like your favorite person character.
Do you think that I'm
And
like Deku? That's the real question.
yeah, I see it.
Yeah, everybody makes fun
You
of me
you
for it.
care you care so much, and that's
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
I can tell that's there. So but no,
Who's your
it
favorite
was really
character?
good. I mean,
Is it Bakugo still?
no, I think it's All Might for me,
Okay.
right? I kind of love the like weirdness of just like him being this, swole thing when he's powered up, and
You're not a fan of the
since he's
Small Might?
limited with his use. Uh, what?
You like Small Might? You like him when he's skinny?
Oh, Small Might. I was like, yes,
That's
and
what they call it. They call him
his
Small Might.
they call him Small Might when he's not. Okay, that tracks. That makes sense.
I used to call
And yes, and Small Might is a fun character too.
I used to
And
call Mason
besides,
Small Might.
ah, I see.
He's
He's
not.
giant. He's so tall.
Yeah, 6'2" is a lot of tall.
Yeah. Anyways.
I didn't know that I was taller than you until this trip. I feel like I would have known. Like,
Really?
I just didn't know. How tall are you?
5'5"?
You're like way shorter than me.
Yeah. Yo, I'm tiny.
I didn't realize. I don't know.
But I'm a tank.
You're a tank. Speaking of tanks, what's in the world of nerdy news that you wanted to share? Anything pretty great? You actually have a lot.
Yeah, so mine it's just kind of focused on one thing, and that's trailers. Is we have so many new trailers that came out this last, or since we last talked. We got a new trailer for Barbie. The new Star Wars had their celebration, right? So that's where we found out that there's a new Ahsoka trailer, which we haven't watched. Want to do a reaction video to that. And
I
then
already watched it. I'm not gonna pretend I didn't watch that.
no, I've been waiting for that. All right, fine. Then I get to make
You
the
can
TikTok
make a
reaction
TikTok.
to the
Yeah, you can
trailer,
make a TikTok.
because I haven't.
Bro, I had
haven't watched the trailer yet.
I had a 5-hour layover. I was gonna not watch it.
That's fair. That tracks. And then also, I really now one I did watch was the Marvels. It's a new Captain Marvel trailer, and
I haven't
I
watched
didn't
that yet.
finish.
Is it that I saw the poster though, and the poster looked sick.
It's sick. I started the series but didn't finish
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel series. Yeah.
I watched the first 3 episodes of that and thought it was so good. I also need to finish that because that like I'm like pretty off the Marvel stuff, but some of the TV shows kind of interest me. I don't know how far you got. I got like the first 3 episodes in, and I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I was about there. I think other stuff came up and just haven't come back to it. I need to like put a pin in that as like something to revisit when we're like, what should we watch? And so yeah, no, all those trailers. I mean, I haven't seen Ahsoka yet, but like I said, I'll do a video on that, and they're great and exciting as far as nerd news.
Well, speaking of Star Wars Celebration, holy crap, was it a surprise to a lot of people how much was announced. And, we had a lot of Star Wars movies got canceled. I think the Rian Johnson trilogy got canceled recently. Obviously, the Obi-Wan TV series replaced the Obi-Wan movie. But we got announced that Daisy Ridley will be returning as Rey for her own trilogy that is outside of the Skywalker saga. So they announced kind of the way that they're thinking about creating content in the Star Wars universe. And one of the ways that they broke it down is kind of like in timelines. So the way that it happens is the dawn of the Jedi. This is the beginning. This is when the inception of the Jedi. And it was announced that is getting, I think, a trilogy, if I'm not mistaken, is what they said. Then we actually have been getting a ton of High Republic books. This is after the dawn of the Jedi. This is, I don't know if you've gotten the chance to read any Star Wars books, but like I've read a couple of the High Republic books. And it is when the Jedi are at their peak, their very height of power. The Old Republic is actually first. They did not say a lot about that. And I am like, feels like you included this on purpose. Then it's the High Republic. Then it's the Fall of the Jedi. This is what we've seen in the the prequels, the rise of the Empire, and then the reign of the Empire. We've seen TV shows and stuff in there, or maybe it's Rise of the Rebellion is maybe how they put it. But the different eras, right? This look at excuse me, this look at kind of Star Wars in this era's view, and placing what it does a really good job of, and the reason that I'm excited for it, I guess, is how I should get into this, is it lets you confine your story into a specific space rather than having it expand across different eras and having it impact lots of things. And it means that a solo story or a trilogy can be confined into a space that you only have to worry about the stuff in that space and how it impacts them in a lot of cases. So huge excitement for one. I loved Daisy Ridley in Star Wars. I know that a lot of people don't like Rey the character, but I think everybody can agree that Daisy's like an amazing actress, and her ability to convey emotion, her comedy is really funny. She has a really good range, and I don't know. I think that it gives us opportunities to see her training Finn, which I think is really cool. We got to see some of that in the Christmas special. Am I spoiling stuff for you right now, PaddyB?
I did not watch this Christmas special. So
did you know that? I'm going to spoil something for you then. Do you know that moment where Finn is trying to tell her something in the last movie and he doesn't tell her? He's trying to tell her that he is Force sensitive. And in the Christmas special, she's actually training Finn to become a Jedi.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I think that their relationship would be both the easiest thing to explore in there, and also I think everyone wants to see Finn as a Jedi. Just his potential with his battle with in the first movie, and all the stuff that he's done. It's very clear that he could become a very powerful Jedi. It'd be really cool to watch. But yeah, Star Wars Celebration. I have been trying to catch up because we were in San Diego, but there's so much content there, so much to watch. That's easily some of the things that is in the world of news that I'm the most excited for. Anything we're missing? I feel like we covered Star Wars a lot this time. I guess that's because of Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, it was a big one. Something that Shelby and I have been nerding out about and just had their finale this week was actually RuPaul's Drag Race. We started watching a lot of that show. There's been some divisiveness online after, but it I'm gonna miss that. It became kind of a ritual. Was every Saturday we'd have a Pink Whitney strawberry lemonade, and watch Drag Race. So with all the stuff going on right now, it's just yeah, I'm gonna miss that.
I like using our platform for something. And you just remind me of something I want to say in this podcast that I forgot. I don't know if you saw the Missouri law. I think it was Missouri. But I want to talk about it really quick. If you don't want politics on your podcast, we're done with the episode. You can turn it off. That's okay. I totally get that sometimes you use this as a way to escape. But I think a lot of people in nerdom need to hear this. Because regardless of what side you stand on, whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning, the law that was passed in Missouri targeting specifically people with depression and autism is actually really bad for not just trans people, but all Americans by taking rights away from those with mental illness. It would be like if you have one leg, you don't get to make your own medical choice. It's a really scary situation, and we as a people need to fight against this type of arbitration. It is not okay, and it's really bad not just for trans people but all Americans, because it's pretty easy to diagnose with depression It's, you know, what happens to people with bipolar disorder? What happens to people with Asperger's? What happens to people with like any of these mental disorders that you could, for some reason, if you don't understand what it's like to live with a mental disorder, make the same arguments against. And I think that it is maybe the scariest and worst law ever in the history of the U.S. since, you know, in my lifetime at least. I guess not the history of the U.S., but, you know, in the last 32 years. It is an attack on your rights as a human with mental illness, not just an attack on the rights of trans people. And if the fact that they are using trans people to pass a law like this, they could use this law to take away your rights as a person with depression or anxiety or bipolar. Like, it is wrong, and it should be fought against, regardless of where you stand on gender dysphoria and trans rights. Like, I know where we stand on trans rights. I feel like we've been really clear on that. But this is so much bigger than just that group of people. It is you, the listener, and the person. Like, I would assume that a large percentage of our audience, because what I think that they just said, like 50% of Americans have depression right now. It's like a really high number, and
it's more than it really should be.
Like, you don't understand this. They're literally saying you don't get to make your choice if you have depression. You don't get a right here. And that can be used again and again and again in the court of law. Like, it is bad news. So, this is the second. I feel like this is the second time in like 4 weeks where I've like soapboxed. But like, it's getting bad. And the thing is it's so funny because, like, PaddyB knows me. I'm a pretty moderate in politics. Like, people on the left side get really mad at me because I'm not leftist enough. People on the right side think that I'm a communist. Like, everybody hates Spencer. And this is bad for everyone. There's not a person that should look at this and say, this is okay. Like, if you were listening to this podcast, like, it probably impacts somebody that you love directly. And you should care. So, anyway, politics out of the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We got 2 amazing video games come out. We got a whole new era of Star Wars we're about to enter. Which is probably good for Disney, to be honest, because Marvel was suffering. You know what?
Been struggling.
I'm gonna say this. If they just told Sony they wanted to buy Sony, which I think that they could achieve, it might fix the problems. Like, it's because they
just
need
finally get Spider-Man back and make it
Spider-Man. You get Fantastic Four. They already got X-Men back. Why isn't X-Men announced yet? How is it taking this long to get X-Men out? I guess they already got Fantastic Four. It would just be Spider-Man.
And it's just Spider-Man.
But you know what? Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and X-Men are the 3 most popular properties in all of Marvel. And they already ended the stories of everything that they created. Right? Like,
well, no, they're still tying stuff up. I think how they're going to introduce the X-Men and Fantastic Four is with this incursion storyline that they're finishing up right now, right? So they're going to have an incursion happen, and it's going to be a huge, big battle between worlds, and that's going to create the presence of mutants. It's more than Ant-Man, right?
I have a question.
But it's
I have a legitimate question.
Kang-centered.
Here's why I think this last phase of Marvel failed. This is just my opinion. Is you were left with Thor's story felt done. And so getting another Thor movie, while I enjoyed it, I loved Thor Love and Thunder, was like the headliner. And it didn't tie to anything else. Like, I could have just watched that movie to see the end of his story. Then you have a bunch of other stuff, like, I didn't watch Moon Knight. Why would I care about Moon Knight? And then,
Moon Knight was really good.
Why would I care?
I love Oscar Isaac. And so
I love Oscar Isaac too, but, like, give it to me, like, the ones that I watched, like, of the shows that I watched, right? Why did I watch Loki? I already cared about Loki. Why do I watch WandaVision? Sure. I already cared about WandaVision. Like, I got 0 episodes into Moon Knight. I watched 3 episodes of Miss Marvel. You don't get to give me a TV show of something that I don't already care about. In like, for a franchise that has movies that I could like start to care about these people. The reason that TV shows work in other mediums, like comedies and like things like that, like those type of TV shows, is because that's their medium. But like, you just had bought X-Men and Fantastic Four. And now I feel like I'm waiting for the most important parts of your franchise to join it again after I lost everything else, and you're giving me Moon Knight.
I gotcha. And part of that too, it's kind of like with Magic development, right? Like a lot of this stuff is many years planned out, right? So the
You're telling me you
acquisition
don't think that they had to have planned Moon Knight like at the same time they were planning Endgame?
Well, yes, I'm not saying that the content now is like, I think because of the Fox purchase, right, and getting that, they already had plans for some of these other things. They've had to kind of make you wait, and that's maybe discouraging you from watching other stuff.
Is Moon Knight good? Should I watch it?
It's good. Yeah, no. It the dual personality aspect, and speaking of mental illness, right? That's what that show is about, and um, it was different. It had a different tone than some of the other stuff, and so you might actually enjoy it because it's very different.
So I didn't like Loki for what it's worth.
Okay.
I loved WandaVision, and people like I loved all of WandaVision. People were like, "This show."
Yeah,
sucks.
WandaVision was good.
I was like, "This show's so good. This show's like actually insanely good."
Yeah.
Okay, I will give Moon Knight a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. If you want to suggest a topic,
Sweet.
like you want us to review Moon Knight, for example, you leave a comment in the YouTube show. It's a great way to get your topic onto the show. Every 2 months, we just had a podcast meeting on our drive to, I think it was on our drive to San Diego from Vegas, and like I think we had a ton of stuff that we're excited to talk about on the show, but we want to hear from you, the listener. So if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment. If you want to give us a show topic directly, just hit us up at heezymedia@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. With that being said, people can find me at Swift H. They can find Patty at PaddyB. They can find the show at Need to Nerd Pod. All on Twitter. Like, sub, and review. It's the best way to help the show. Patty B, I gotta ask you a question, and I need you to answer it right away. Would you rather be a taco or a burrito?
I would rather be a burrito because I like being wrapped up.
I'd rather be a taco because everybody loves tacos. Thank you very so much for listening. See you guys on next week with another episode of the Need to Nerd podcast.